Zoltar?
Well, I think I'm in. There we go. Okay, it took a while to load, but I think I'm here.
Oh, cool. Well, looks like we're both in.
All right, that'll work for me.
I think it's an issue that has to do a little bit with Zoltar.
I don't know. I can
Yeah.
always try reconstructing my files again, you know, just doing that basic integrity check, but we'll see. PB apparently found a scavenger spot he's happy with. No surprise he would jump on that immediately because
he loves those craters.
loves scavenging. I gotta say, I think scavenger is actually very, very powerful in 1v1 if you can find the tiles for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's gonna probably be just like trying to get to level 2 by the time Stolksdorf is gonna.
I don't know why he loves to fit in craters though. That just Curry looks a little too small for me. I mean, it may not matter in a 2-player game, but I think in an 8-player game that would have been a bad move.
That crater, I think, is a bit of an awkward decision. I'm concerned about Stolksdorf access to aluminum at this point. PB has gotten a hold of a lot of those aluminum tiles. Okay, Stolksdorf has apparently decided he's going to found Robotic. He's going to go ahead and grab that important aluminum tile for the moment. Oh, PB's going to block him!
Oh, PB is so competitive.
PB's so rude. All right. That means he almost certainly needs to secure the low aluminum tile. Yeah, PB is playing very, very cutthroat right now, and I guess that shouldn't be too much of a surprise.
Going for the last one.
Wow.
So that's all the aluminum gone from the map.
There you go.
Wow, PB is not
PB's out for blood, let's be honest.
Yeah,
That's what's happening
he's out
right
for
now.
blood.
He's not messing around.
Stolksdorf has to mutiny his aluminum.
Stolksdorf, I do hope that you do continue playing Offworld.
Yes.
Well, it's your fault. You knew PB was so strong, and you still let him in the tournament. Can't believe you would do that to somebody.
Well, I mean, someone has got.
Yeah, I know. It's very sad. Someone did have to play PB in the first round.
Now, since you said that, because it's fantastic you said that, I was thinking today that if PB won the tournament, we keep him as whomever wins, like whomever goes through the next tournament to play last PB.
Could be an interesting thing. Just have him be the current defender of the title, essentially.
Oh no! I mean, the time after that we have 2, and then etc.
Yeah, okay. Interesting
So,
concept.
yeah.
We can see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Although, there are some real strong players. I'd be surprised if one of them could consistently win the tournament.
I agree. I think it's nice to see everyone in the tournament. At some point, there will be upsets. And that's what makes tournaments fun.
Definitely looking forward to upsets at some point. I'm still super excited about that Sir Rogers versus Zap match that's coming up this week.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
One.
That's an amazing second round matchup.
So what we have going on in the game, by the way, is PB went ahead, grabbed Pirates. He's just trying to, once again, strangle Stolksdorf out of the game completely.
Oh my
Just
gosh, you dropped the
demonstrate.
Pirates down?
Yep,
Jeez.
right on top of that steel production. It got that very first steel send. That's going to be a huge problem for Stolksdorf. And
So
PB,
the next level of griefing for PB Head would just be to start buying up steel, just because.
just because he can. Yeah, he could do that. He could nuke the iron tile. He could cause all kinds of problems still. He has a lot of options available. We can just put it that way.
Yeah, this is tough.
He did commit a lot of tiles to working over aluminum.
Yeah, it was interesting. It looks like he was holding on to those tiles in case Stolksdorf went for them. You could tell he was ready. He reacted immediately, but he had essentially 2 claims on hand that he was not using. That he took off the table just in case Stolksdorf went that way. So you can see that he was thinking, maybe I want to monopolize aluminum, but I only want to do that if I actually see my opponent go for them.
Right.
That's how I interpreted them.
Well, he definitely... For the first one, that was... Stolksdorf was going for the tile between his carbon tiles and his initial aluminum tile.
Yeah,
He managed
had
to hit
to
an
grab
upgrade right at that perfect moment, basically.
Oh, really?
He got to the
Okay.
upgrade that fast, he was able to deny that tile. And then the second one, I think he was just ready to go and understood how important aluminum was going to be
Yeah.
in the course of this game, just based on how little there was.
Yeah,
Food
so
shortage
that's-
coming in. PB knew about it. He's going to be abusing that. He bought into it quite heavily. The price is just going to go crazy, and he's going to be able to sell to make probably a good... I'm going to guess somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 off of just this short alone.
I mean, poor Stolksdorf. I mean, mutiny is his key, probably a hacker or Ray. I don't know. Like at this point, just kill PB with the black market.
Yeah. Well, what would you do, Zoltar, at this point if you were Stolksdorf?
I'd have left a little while ago.
Well, give it your best shot. What would you try
All
to
right,
do?
what would
Very
I
nice
do?
of him that he's staying.
The thing you can try to do, potentially, like when you're so far behind, you're so far behind, your primary advantage is that your opponent has a lot of buildings up. And so it's going to cost him a lot of power.
The aluminum came up, so that's what the game does in this situation.
Yep, the game decided Stolksdorf needs a chance. He's going to get a $16,000 new, fresh aluminum tile. Interestingly enough, I don't see the defended status on it. Maybe that's because I'm on PB head. No, I don't see it here either. Oh, well,
No.
not too big a deal. I find it highly unlikely that PB will... Well, maybe he will nuke it. It
I
is
don't-
PB we're talking about.
I'm not sure I agree.
You guys, he's gonna do that.
But we can see this is almost certainly a hacker array coming down for PB on top of one of his old carbon tiles. He's sitting on a good 600 aluminum. Aluminum already costs $60. He's probably just going to try... Oh, yep, there's the nuke. He's ready for it. He knows what's going on. Shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever. It's exactly what I would do in this situation, too. He's probably just going to do a very, very similar thing to last game with slightly different resources. He's going to build this hacker array. He's going to short aluminum. He's going to sell all of it for a massive amount of profit, and he's just going to go for the win very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little concerned about his reactors. I'm not sure how much money they're making.
Market is online.
Yeah, looks like a pretty bad deal there. So he is hacking, aluminum, like you predicted.
I mean, it's just, you know.
It's so hard to come back from here. Realistically, the only play you can make from this far behind, in my opinion, is try to watch for your opponent getting power out. Try and drive the price of power up somehow. Either try and get to that hacker array. Try and get some solar panels down or some wind turbines. Maybe find a geotherm around the map. Try and generate your own power. Drive the price up and shut your opponents down. Generate a lot of debt for him. Try to make him death spiral. That's about all you can do, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry, PB Head is just striding inside the game, going, "I'm so sorry." He isn't sorry.
No, PB's not sorry at all. Look, if he is
He
saying
has
things like that, don't
1,000
listen to him. He's a liar.
Things of aluminium. Well, he's not lying. He's just being, you know.
I worry.
sport.
I think Stolksdorf
The
might have
black
attempted to
market
buy
is
into one of those
online.
shorts and then not gotten a lot of benefit out of it. Or, I'm not really sure. Maybe he made an effort to pay off his debt, certain things like that happening. He doesn't have nearly as many funds as I would hope.
Yeah.
And he's just getting... I guess he did just build this silicon quarry. So he's trying to find new avenues to make cash.
He may have bribed a claim, that would be my guess.
Yeah, he possibly did manage to bribe a claim. Not sure I agree with that. I think an upgrade would be far more efficient in terms of cost, even where he's at right now.
Well, he's a long way from upgrading with the price of aluminum, so
Yeah.
I think he's just desperate. I mean, he would need, what is that, 80 times 60? Well, now it's 100.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That might drive PB to sell very, very quickly as soon as that surplus happens. What ended up happening was
Just
PB
big.
shorted aluminum,
Big.
but we have
Oh, we have a surplus coming
a
in.
surplus coming in as well. Exactly.
And because
so-
he's scavenger, he finds out about it right away, so he should immediately sell his.
Well, he's going to wait till that surplus gets started and then sell probably at that exact moment. I would imagine we're going to see a control shift down. As soon as that starts, just going to sell off literally all of his resources and see what happens from there.
With the auction, he has plenty of time to think about it. So
And PB got it. I have a question about slant
I hate
drilling.
those
So if
filthy
you
bandits.
are slant drilling around the tile that has a high and then it gets nuked or underground nuke, does it readjust to the new level?
yeah, it'll always use the best one that's available to it if it has slender on. Yeah.
So PB not making near as much money off that aluminum short as he was hoping.
No.
He did make an effort to drive that price back up before Stolksdorf could take advantage. I don't know if Stolksdorf noticed that aluminum was down
Yeah,
like
that's
$20, $30 for some time. He could have maybe bought into that.
I figured he would have just gone for the stock at that point, but I
Well-
guess he figured he didn't have enough. I mean,
PB got hit by that very, very awkward surplus. I think he's just going for another aluminum short. He's going to force the game to let him do this.
sure.
I don't know
And finally
why
go
he
for
didn't
the
try
win.
to mutiny.
Who didn't try to mutiny? What? Stolksdorf?
He didn't have the
Stolksdorf-
money, is what it
He
came
just,
down
he
to.
just, yeah, he's strapped for
Probably.
cash. I mean, he has to upgrade.
He's been strangled out from the very start of this game when he didn't get that aluminum
hackers
tile
have
down.
compromised
It was
the
never
trading
going to work.
circuit.
I think his best
Price
bet was honestly to go
manipulation begins
scavenger,
shortly.
kind of much
Yep, I
faster
agree.
in that crater right next to PB, and then get to those two all-important aluminum tiles.
Yeah.
Maybe
The-
just throw down a single carbon and try and do what he could from there.
Yeah, I mean, he's building off of a low iron to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
very
you know,
problematic.
scavenger or maybe scientific. Those are really the only options, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
What was left.
I don't think Robotic was a great option. For another thing, there's just plenty of water on this map. You're never going to strangle someone out of all of it.
Yep.
It's just going to cause problems. PB did this time go ahead and go with Control-Shift down. No surplus interrupted him. He's just going to be going for the kill. Stolksdorf did manage to somewhat make some money off of that. He did manage to get an upgrade out, but it's just going to be too little too late, I think. PB, I believe, has enough to go ahead and go for the kill. He should be able to fairly easily finish this one up. Guys, this is what happens when you're up against someone who's crazy like PB.
Yeah. Well, you could tell he was going to take this round very seriously. So
yeah,
he didn't pull any punches that game. That was tough. So we hope to see you next tournament, Stolksdorf.
If I were you, I would just go practice, and go kick his butt.
I will say this: we'll make sure you're not matched with PB Head next time.
But yeah, let's look at that game. PB Head managed to, in the time frame of that game, make $100,000 total. He purchased 60,000. He sold 162,000. So that's pretty terrifying. Stolksdorf, on the other hand, made about 4,000.
I mean, in all fairness, PB made it quick.
He did. He made it as fast as he could. That surplus, that random surplus, got in his way rather significantly, but he managed to fight through it anyways.
Yep.
Very difficult game to come back from. But seriously, though, guys, aluminum, it's important. Don't forget about it.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable to watch on some level, and then just kind of unfortunate in other ways.
Not really. I don't know if I agree that it's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable to see what a player will do when they can get away with it. You can kind of see what his thought process is, his understanding of this resource is so important I can actually make my entire gameplay based around it, you know?
I mean, what would a player do? I mean, we saw the last game. He was building a hacker array, a pleasure dome, a patent lab. You know, it's like, it was just like, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah, well, there's just... Basically, what that comes down to, how you avoid that situation, is just realize the fact that if your opponent has gotten built in a 1v1 scenario, you don't have a lot of time to just dally around. You know, you've got to get founded, you've got to get your claims out, you've got to get collecting those all-important resources to be able to secure your expansions and stay in the game. And I think that's really what it came down to in the second match. In the first one, let's be honest, PB found amazing tiles, the game was over, that was it. It was a map win. That simple. But the second game, it was a little bit more just being lackadaisical with the found, not getting it done in time. Maybe not the best found ever either, but that's a very important phase of the game.
Yeah, what did PB have? Did he have a medium carbon?
He had, I believe, he found basically a trio of carbon tiles. One of them was a medium carbon with aluminum on it as well, and that was good enough for him. Another medium carbon and another medium aluminum with a low aluminum right next to it, and he was good to go.
I think they...
Another thing to think about is then when you're talking about a 1v1 scenario, especially when you can get off to a very quick start, you don't have to worry so much that you're getting strangled out by being in that crater, because you don't need very long to finish up the game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to go quick.
Yeah.